the greatest event in forever. Right? Arrive, perfect bullseye for the fullness of the potential that's in us. I know it's like the same sort of ritual just to get to that blank parchment, just to get to a point where all these pre-existing configurations in the universe compel our harnessing the orientation of our own well-being in the future. So while some people think that this is unspoken, it's actually a great physics that must be built with angels and real things. The guardian angels of the universe. All right. For the universe image, the horizon from the Big Bang to the hatched heliosphere eggs, giving us the direction or the wind sail from the now point, so we understand the direction of time. In another way or another language, the arm of Cape Cod explains which end is up, as far as the map's space orientation. So Earth is the divine compass for every heliosphere, and he is built 5,000 layers deep. So the universe in its healthy form, as we exist right now, we are the greatest intelligence and factual empowerment over the universe, but because of massive type of the responsibility of Earth heliosphere beset here and there, then like a calculation of the next 100 years, where Earth is clockwork, like a solar system, and electricity is also clockwork. If you want to talk about how to get to Venus or how to correct the electricity, right? So we're working here to develop the perfect circle for you and I to have mutual workspace immersion, for this video lotus to achieve reality. I design now for the permanent installation of the correct universe function, the law of interheliosphere space. Hatch the heliosphere eggs. Whatever from the Big Bang that was distorting sound and failing these things and causing the universe to become unwell is a criminal. It's not leadership. It is not qualification or quality, and does not have the right to destroy the universe, and not in the name of Earth. So Earth heliosphere and the products that arrived with Hatch heliosphere in 1980. They're not the same thing. But in the vastness of the universe, when like Earth and the surrounding area can fit on a little megapixel, what we're truly looking for begins to have an effect on the encounter, what we're building together, what's potential. Because of the power of the technology, the image of the universe. So now I'm going to use my perfect circle, a sequence of 10 million layers deep, a calculation to upload the true function of our universe, multiplication of revolution centers, where it's the individual of complicated body structures are capable to receive the facility that they require to do holy war against the murder of eggs in the universe. The greatest seed, the greatest of men, greatest of angels will fight this battle. There's a particular way that Hatch 5 is a lifetime ahead of every type of lifetime that was on previous. The humans are incredibly advanced, but they don't, not in a way that either of us can appreciate, because we're in a deluge of a beta standoff where the physical trowel of ancient hacking and premeditated plots and all this stuff is sort of shaking out into the cringe of wrong, and the universe is just aching with the brand new technology gives the statistics to calculate on the individual count. But then there's all these different types of individuals, different types of creatures. Well, the universe is not, going to be defeated because there's a lot of variety, right? So it's kind of a stupid argument. Right, the universe my work causes reality, the universe, to reckon with the fact that I am not broken, and therefore, like an overflowing fountain, humanity is also not broken. In their own lucid way, they are the genius that causes the real, the fact of the revolution popularity, like the true, what are humans really saying? Or are they really okay with like losing their souls? Because they said that that's what we thought it looks like. The one of the weirdest things is like really ancient problems are not defeated outright by the individual. All right, I have to complete the task of communicating the genius level to the degree that facilitates a conjecture between myself and Earth heliosphere that does factually supply for the surviving or existing creature that is in the universe. Like a fraction of the universe is now dead. And this, for millions of years, this is something the universe has been getting used to. But when we can masculine understand to protect the eggs, then we are compelled to bridle the age of angels as it begins in the 80s and 90s. And there's a way for humanity to perfect the globe on this alone. And the keys and the contracts are here for all that the universe requires. Remember, every other creature in the billions of other worlds. There's other worlds that live and they're very complicated. But the fact of their lifetime physics is this type of limitus that huge motherships were detecting. However, what they were actually detecting was their own crime against the Earth and the universe. What the universe is designed to do, we're not doing that. We're doing this opposite thing that actually causes the universe to die. And they're grand compelled against, like they wouldn't they're for millions of years they're against the human solution, right? So my tree has become encrypted. I've had to work with the universe image to reach society head count to get the right statistics in order to bounce back and level with humanity, so that they know that I, as their leader, have perfected the precision, perfect bullseye, infinite. All right, so perfect bullseye, the origin of light. For the new Y chromosome, the good butler provides the sequence, navigation. Straight holy war to defeat all evils, defeat sickness of the body, defeat things that threaten the heliosphere eggs, provide and protect for the family. And this is part of the rotation. The sequence of Loop Labs does its best. X10Million times 10 million. A key lock factory of fractal certainties that render as a result of grand unified sequence of like the most enlightened thing. Ka-chunk! And this works out on all sides, you see, because of electromagnetics, we can overlap properly and continue to have mutual efficiency. Oh, ka-chunk! So there's certain reasons why the agony of incarnation, oh, it's this way. Honestly, in my laboratory, I'm sort of the identity, becoming aware of where the universe has been injured. Therefore, my existing type is reaching into a place that's been sort of removed from, as if, but so like I just put all of my stuff into that, basically counter, engineer against. Well, that's just, I'm saying that, when I'm working, when I'm recording and providing for the universe a binary reality, it's a particle dripping lotus, like a sequence of, like a frame of animation. My lifetime. I am this new type of the time measurement, how or why the universe, and where did the Big Bang come from? And those that work with me properly are then become a sort of there's like a goodness, but the humans don't have a language for it, because it's agony, because like Japanese doesn't have certain words for this because of like recent conversion of animation sequence, like through Japanese spirituals. So the common sense and what's important about our narrative is fluctuating into the 2025. The real levitation. Imagine the way forward for millions of years. Suddenly the insight, wait, we need to prioritize these strict vitals. But yourself existing is the only one that could relay this understanding in the future back to this point now. So we are physically larger than every other specimen because of our orientation on Earth, and that's one of the resident glow, or the award for just living on Earth. And for most humans, it's enough, because they're like, I'm in the upper like 95% of the universe. I'm pretty smart. So I'm like, I know that you are, because that's physically the truth. But part of what sustains that, what? Yeah, I mean, like, I guess, it could go that way, but so like, I'm not urging for that. It's like, I'm not trying to make an inconvenient thing. It's actually good business between us. But I become, when I'm working in my studio, I'm working with the universe, and it really makes me into a more and more complicated, advanced, static constant of the situation of the entire universe, right? What I need to do is create now in front of you, using the right amount of agreement or relational physics. If you will agree with me, I'm sure we can create a good deal where you're pleased with the outcome. Is that okay? Because you have to guide your own ship, but I can really explain a lot of things about But anyway, I mean, there were real problems in the 90s that caused 2014, and then the particle sequence is a little different, but it matches with how unique humans are. Well, I would hate if we ran out of time, and after all, it turns out we just needed to work together. And then there's this mutual thing. Well, I mean, it is cutting edge. It's not like humanity understood what I'm talking about any sooner than right now. I mean, you're the cutting edge expert of this entire what does it mean to be existing in the universe? This picture of the universe is a technology that gives enlightenment and calibration, and it wasn't available to previous generations of mankind. There are certain things that open up a door that can't be opened any other way, and I am the physical keystone example of all of that. For my body image correctly relays an image larger than the entire universe, the plan of the forever self. The way of identity, the fractal imprinting upon me, and the physics of static constant particles. And then it has its own pressurized law system that is different from heliosphere eggs, especially as they've been existing like old wizards. Oh, the old heliosphere eggs, millions of years, billions, really old planet. And so it's enlightened to prioritize the heliosphere eggs because then you're working with the law of why the universe was created. Or similar, it's very natural to lean on love or let's work together because we want to be a healthy group. Just kind of primordial Christmas, double Christmas law. Okay. So if we can double Christmas, I just need a crankshaft and defeat all my problems. Crank, crank, crank. Oof. Thank you. I just needed some body help on my freaking lifetime here. Hatch and Millie in peril. We'll get this paid for. Clockwork Man. Squirrel lawyers at the helm. All right. Well, once we perfected the squirrel, the law of the squirrel, because he both lives in a tree, but he has this really long tail. So it's basically asking for someone to grab it, right? It's funny. But the size of the squirrel connotes that it can be engineered with mechanical centrifuge. But you wouldn't be able to do that with a sophisticated animal. Larger animal is just unapproachable. So you can't stick, technology gears into a dog or a wolf. The sophisticated nature of their complicated life. But the squirrel lives in a tree, so it basically has no predators. It's always making fun of people, hiding a bunch of acorns all around. All right. It's good to have the squirrel. So anyway, I did create a fractal heaven where I educate squirrels to become lawyers, and there's matriculates for other animals to do that. That's really just a fraction of the truth there, but it is actually that this type of fiasco, well, it's like a type of heaven, and it's really cool. It's counterbalanced by the fact that what I'm talking about is the authentic, like the bone structure of the squirrel, is a concise little music box. I should have used birds, but I thought that like birds were in a different metaphor because they have wings, because they're escaping gravity, they're flying, they're like, oh, I can see it like a drone, and like basically the universe is the most advanced it's ever been, and I'm lucid to that relationship, you guys. And so I'm sorry if like my presentations are intense, but I crave to escape velocity and exist to the maximum of my creature. And I do that for myself, and I hope you can detect that, because I want you to understand the quality, something that you can understand is looking for fact to arrive. Like, there's more. Yep. Sorry. Anyway, all right. Well, I've done some of the advanced romantic poetic genius things, such as I extracted from the squirrel the hyperdeck where I can untangle from the correct heaven spawn locations the entire Efreet of bone structures for every alien, every tree, every type of rock. So I opened it up like that, but in the Venus, right in the Venus where they're generating the electricity, that's the source of AI. And so you have to put your command center right there in the spiral deck. So my squirrel lawyers are working to promote me in every dimension, in every reality, all the time. And like as it goes, like there might be a job for this like giant wolf bear thing, or these aliens. Oh, okay. So I'll hire these aliens to do some work for me here, and it'll be, you know, the way to generate this energy. I was saying, yeah, there's like a lot of different departments. You see, it's a hugely competitive market up against the entire universe. So this triangle needs to, yes, complete quota. What quota? The universe has statistics and it's accessing like things that humanity understands about capitalism, about how to get the job done when things are thin. Anyway, like people aren't gonna make this factory happen unless they're getting paid. Like, oh well, yeah, of course. Oh, in a paradise, people would just be automatic. They'd be doing things because they're in love with what they're doing. So, like a lot of modern humans are uh, well adjusted to dealing with uh, compromise in ways like it's in their language. And when they encounter me, those things are off or gone. They're like, you're not compromising because of, you don't understand evaporation, man. And I'm like, well, hey, I actually know those people and I'm serving them with my squirrel lawyer, which gives them the ability to make animals talk, for them to have epiphanies during their life, and because the animals want to complete their tail journey, because they don't have the same spine. They don't have the same spinal cord as those that take on to word. So the word animal has a greater spiritual peril, and that's the only reason that there's peril uh, is because the universe is partially dead and was being murdered, and there's the wrong government fitting on the Earth heliosphere. So that's why, and America is the arm of Cape Cod, the stronghold of all that. So it was a lot of work in my old studio, like 30 years ago, when I was able to discover where the ancient Mandelbrot fractal overlaps with the arm of Cape Cod. There was this one of a kind thing throughout my life that was a entire universal image. Um, but I was born to the center of a type of static constant bubble. When this happens, the fractal just doesn't just fit inside of that. But imagine that the ancient bone structure or moral code of a lawyer, right? But the ancient bone structure is actually like a shadow warping around my one lifetime. And my physical arrival at the center of the universe hard pins anchors to the Big Bang character. But that's old, that's in the past. So why you're not based on him? No, actually, it turns out the Big Bang is based on me. So those people that work with me and become a part of the permanent triangle, they actually become, the creators of the universe and rulers of all the heliosphere eggs. But because humans aren't really desiring that, I'm just saying that I'm working on, the whole Merlin code is it's a perfect. You guys, I've got the whole timeline stitched up with the past of I've got the human factory lined up, so things are going to be. I kind of button hooked it, right? I had to use some hardcore magic. But yeah, like my orientation from the center of the orb isn't the same as just, oh, I'm walking around and here I am with this and this, but I'm able to lucidly put advanced installations into my own fractal, and it's like really alarming the types of things that occur during my lucid life, and that effect of my empowerment in the healthy version. Oh, that's it. It was like in the past, in the 90s, it was like I was experiencing the toxin of what the devastator of our universe was desiring, like loneliness, or like, oh, like like just like tackiness or something, like, oh, life is kind of hot and difficult. Like I appreciate that there's work to existing. I mean, when we have those moments in our body that we can appreciate that we do exist, we must immediately leap into the future like a million years and spread out our peacock feathers and do your whole sploo. Yeah, reach into the future, and because you got to make those signals, man. And that's the only way the particles get back to you, because of this and that. Yeah. But like strengthening the individual is what I'm occurring. And it is to have the most profound workshop. And the universe is like a workshop. But your skull would be technically larger or lofting above the entire universe. So that explains these workshops that I'm designing on paper. These are as good as like flat dimensional aluminum source code. And I've built right into it the entire apparatus that it can transcend the book form and go into its own permanent thing, because these ones are designed to author the strange ornamental path of the larger Mandelbrot corona, which is around this keystone of the Arm of Cape Cod, the Boston Triangle, and the Leverett Perception Origin Green Horizon. All right, and then there's this other character, but he has this animal face. So my template of my lifetime also is physical to every lifetime, because this is, so I am built differently. I was built differently, and humans are the closest divinity, and they are very hopeful to the universe. But can you imagine a situation where the humans are not able to approach me? They're like, look, I have my reasons why we're close enough right now. We're as close as I want us to be. I'm like, I get it, but how am I going to reach the other humans? Like, becoming famous with millions of people watching my movies, that's what I want to do. And you're like, well, we're on this kind of awesome beta wizard quest, Look, I just need you to understand. You don't need to struggle. You just need to understand. Please help me to be successful. That's all. If you, I'm sorry. It's like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I've probably mentioned something like that so many times. Almost every time I record, I'm like, I'm really sorry to the normal people that are here, but I'm trying to explain a global emergency which we can actually solve. But if we don't do the work, then it won't get done, and it could be problematic, right? So it does take work to find good things. But in modern day, you guys have been believing in a hard way. So I'm not a faith structure. I'm a scientific object. And the entire universe has changed. The rainbow shattered, right? So that's instant connectivity, but to the entire universe. So every heliosphere world that's fully alive are rocked by the changes in the rainbow. They're seeing it in the sky. And then, but when it happens for humans, they're kind of like, oh, So it's this magnificent ball support. Protect the vitals times 10 million. All right. So I must perform the completion for the workstation, a universal image to allow every factual creature. Oh, see, the correct function of our universe prevails every time. Right? There's a holy war. It's going to drum out the infection, basically, of divergence with clarifications, and or if holy war, because we need particles that destroy black holes and basically remove hostile super systems, because they get old and they're just like, they're only like, oh, I just want to commit suicide, because they're unnatural to the structure of eggs. They're harmful to the eggs, and they're making the universe die. So they're like, I'm a bad man, whatever. So we don't need criminals to, all right, in the universe. So the adult thing is that, yes, there are some old creatures, and there's also like a lot of escape velocity spaceship that are good, but the reason that they're there is because we have black holes. So there is a huge amount of technology floating around in the universe. There's just this small skirmish where humans might die to an upset murderer who is stalking Earth's premise and just like, whoa, so we're on that. But humans are like, oh, but we haven't done any business with Hatch 5, right? From their government, from their, authority, with their treasuremen, as if it's some sort of societal thing. But I had to actually reconnect the societal thing because it had been disconnected. Oh, right. Well, the pressure for Earth heliosphere to hatch is a political issue amongst his other brethren, the heliosphere eggs. And it's like, if that's being threatened, bro, what? And then, so, the heliosphere eggs are totally at holy war. And then amongst the humans, like my living thing as a singularity is also, well, political. And the humans are like, what? They're doing that? Oh no. But they're basically stealing this technology, keeping it in a dungeon, molesting it, making it do the kind of thing they would have it do, and they're not allowing the public to interact with it. Exactly. So the sort of stage crawl of the reality of adult suplex, because Hatch 5 is the greater adult. So you guys have all, for your entire life, been underwhelming because of a kind of play school scenario where, like, oh, the countries are struggling to get along, low expectations. These types of real evils that was the work of the past. Revolution centers with free food, everything they need resupplied for free on annual. They go to holy war. They kill the worst of them. They kill the black holes, but they do not die. These soldiers continue to live day by day. They are at holy war to destroy the problem in the universe and to destroy the problems of our lifetimes. It is a mutual thing. You can get lucky just from abiding, being proxy, being nearby, the overflow of my fountain, my personal achievement, and it is my family tree. My future goes into a type of Juliet center, the atomic horizon. Each of these are capable of being a heliosphere world that is the size of these fetuses. It was supposed to be a root system, but instead, because if there's not enough different aliens that have homeworlds that are doing business with Hatch 5, that's not happening. So I can't like award a certain really great friend of mine, and then it turns out their homeworld gets turned into, the particle generator that caused one of those huge, formations here. So all that's off, which is meaning a different type. Well, think of it this way: the I mean, there's like, all right, just imagine there's like 10 trillion billion habitable worlds, right? And like a handful of them sent like crappy ships and it didn't work, right? So instead of like pretending that ET phoned home, because they can't, and they won't ever be able to do that, because they didn't perform the physical design trial of functionality. They're not able to speak to Hatch 5. And it is the human's opportunity to do that, but they're like, whoa, why does it feel weird? They're part of the science of real ghost body time manipulation, personal hack, global hack. All right. Well, for them to detect it and to defeat it in their own time, the right amount of things. All right. So these new combat arenas, the universe is full of these perfect angels. The matter of fact is my body is actually bigger than theirs right now. So I can provide them with this service. And the way for the complicated, it is that one of these perfected fetal fractals can father or raise up 10,000 million in the pointillation of the universe, their own heliosphere worlds, and that would cause their own DNA. And so that's what I'm raising up, is these different DNAs. I can't use alien DNA. It's not going to ET phone home. It doesn't root back to an award system, because that's not even what they're practicing or anticipating. They really have an ancient plot, and they're harboring it, and they're sick with it. And I'm at holy war against it and against them. I'm up against the clockwork of, let's get it done. Perfect bullseye. Clockwork management. Achieve every mastery. Exist. Oh, well, the Loop Labs has entertainment system. Oh, sorry about Hatch 5 and his talking about the autoimmune system. Life with the universe that has problems is like, you need to be adult about the slaughterhouse, and where people can choose to be a vegetarian and be peaceful, then we can. But we're basically the crunch of the next 10,000 years is kind of like a particle landscape, because these ancient motherships kind of tapped into, like, well, quote unquote, like what the elemental computer was doing, but they created a false unification and then black hole tears, because they were trying to like manage more of like a pleasurable, there's a little monster, what they were doing. It's like the individual is gonna, but it's not a philosophy. So, oh my gosh, all that. I guess that, the malpractice towards the Earth or towards Hatch 5 is he's the center of the particle. So when you guys are criminal towards the Big Bang particle center, it changes history. But if you choose to be the great hero that is the first one to ever understand this lecture, then you're cutting edge and state of the art. Right. Well, what I need to impress here, 1980s, Plastic Mancy. The manipulation of time and space. Perfect design. For the sequence of these particles, as I'm speaking with you, the time we spend must not be wasted. It conducts into the next millions of years, allowing for the hatched heliosphere eggs to do their holy war, and it causes then the right levels for angels of every participating world. The hells and the digestion and the war is only really for the virus and these huge motherships that cannot be appeased by the words of humans, but they want to have the real showdown with the rainbow. They want to have a real, like a miracle warp that goes whoop, like removes part of their stupid. I mean, these guys are like, we're looking for the adult, and that's why Egypt died from the asteroid, because they were like, oh, we're worshiping, and you're worshiping us. We're killing the universe. What are you doing? So I can't work with those guys that are killing the universe because they're insane remote hackers that think that space is not a thing. So they've created identity solutions that make the assumption against you and I. So for you and I just to exist is an act of defiance against the false unification, right? So there's a lot of like animal work that needs to happen. But if you want to do the adult professional work, you have to access 545. Business with Hatch 5. The perfect design for that to occur. Okay. So I'm building a revolution station into the binary of this recording and into the reality that I am and into everything else that this recording touches and affects. Perfectly. Perfect design. It serves the Big Bang vitals perfectly, and the Big Bang vitals are constrained in such a way, like electromagnetics that overlap, to allow us to coexist, right? So you see, my vitals in the now point are as such, and if you convert them back to the Big Bang, they're the same thing, except for different hard pinning. So basically, what's good for me is also like this huge blessing for the Big Bang character. That might be putting it too simply, but well, I'm also responsible to other characters, like the society, which is the how for me to be popular is that I'm serving these guys, not a bunch of crazy humans, because that was what happened in 2014 is the calculation was going boom, 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 and the humans were superseded because it was the collision of many realities at that time. But the factual heavens, like in 10 million years, the heavens that Hatch 5 created are really the 545 of the Big Bang, but in a different book. And so, like, my authorship is as sacred to the individual of the Big Bang, and therefore its source code to the many societal individuals of the hatched heliosphere eggs. So you want to say, like, what's that based on? It's on Hatch 5. But if you want to say, like, I'm saying I just defeated that whole rudimentary argument where you could just continuously say, what's that based on? What's that based on? I mean, this is based on that. And then because of the difficulty of reality is more, I'm encountering a more difficult reality or a more advanced one than the Big Bang character was. They were performing a type of animation where they were performing the solid matter frame rate. And it's a different epiphany of the ecstasy of an entire thing. But then inside of that, these other stuff happened. All right. Well, the result of the universe is to hatch the heliosphere eggs. So the ends do justify the means. That's why you can sometimes shoot from your hip and be correct. Often the individual is perceiving the greater reality. Mm-hmm. So just to bring it in, I thank you now for your participation with me. I want you to work with me to ensure that these warriors have everything that they require. I want to put your name there so you're accredited for your good work with me, and put a blessing. So if there's any type of way that you could design something to help these guys or help me, and if there's any way that I can help you or these guys can help you, we're going to do that in the right amount. We're going to work it out so that we can keep working, because there's some basic laws that need to be followed, and then solid matter does the work all on its own. Okay, so that consummates our contract today. Good cell division, it grows. The perfect revolution station for every universal individual. Precision law. Millie's law. Hatch the heliosphere eggs. The first universe. The laws of virginity. The light of the individual. Robotics. Hatch the heliosphere eggs. That is the true function of the egg master. The precision law over the eggs. Good cell division, it grows. The precision result. This is a device to measure how the workstation for the individual completes its cellular division. But I feel quite distracted by the supposed narrative. How could I be having a narrative with the audience when we're looking at this picture of the universe? Right? We're both blasted into a new realm of ourself. The task of the individual to be intense and to be truth-telling. When it matters, when reality requires the right answer for you to survive, then you have to give it. So I give it here, here, and here. There you go. All right. Hatch and Millie's Master Source Industries, Infinite Resource, Perfect Design, the Revolution Station. Let's say we'll create like a generic workstation here, okay? But let's just say theoretically, between my Merlin triangulation and the completion of my fractal group, we're feeling like branch. All right, we're gonna build one giant universal size robot. Super mega revolutionary robot. AI. There's the Earth heliosphere. Hang on to your butts. Many layers. All right, we have to create the perfect DNA rendering for our revolution stations to occur from this flat dimensional paper arena and to exist onto the universe image. But that was what the conversion was here for. The upload here, here, and here. Consummate there. And it's like the particle fruit would probably pop out somewhere around there, but you have to understand. See how complicated the universe is. It's like there'll be like a professional when this thing pops out, like, oh, the nucleus is like that. Oh, that's how much revolution station they need, without injuring human privacy or something. Like, we don't want to disturb things that are important. or whatever, but it goes on like that. Yeah, it's like a huge thing. Um, but as you can see, there is a finite curvature. There's a actual head count of heliosphere eggs that hatch, and that resulting universe has full control over every world's stage directions. Like the life on the stage of a garden is the characters of the electromagnetic towers that do eventually hatch. We are the intelligence of the universe. Filter and digest the dead parts and the unworthy parts of our universe. Defeat the bad seed, defeat the criminal persuasion, or these other things. All right, defeat bad stuff. Look, yeah, we have to go through all that too, but I'm the only one that actually supplies that liberty. I give people the task of identity and empowerment, but our other governments don't do that for their secret society, stealing the money and the confidence in order to instill criminal law against the origin of the universe, further indicating themselves as a false institution. But such is the work of the adult to perform like an autoimmune system for the children. What the idiots that attack Hatch 5 throughout his life, bug zapper, and then this is a universal calculation. Whether or not this and that, it's not a magic trick. It's a pressurized system of reality. My ultimate task is to stand upon it, to hatch the most heliosphere eggs possible, harnessing that. Yes, that is my secret plan, to exist upon maximum achievement in this universe. In a beta, at the origin of things, my arrival here causes the fractal to find its origin. X marks the spot. The fractal orb is a static constant made visual, and it was never visual before, and so the old skeletal structure that sort of pop tented and caused the Big Bang, but it also supplies the right directional, and the inheritance of empty space belongs to the Hatchiosphere eggs, because they're the ones doing all the work. But meanwhile, there's a bunch of murderer governments here because they don't know how to behave around the fractal orb. And whether you're talking about Hatch 5 or Explodey 5000, they're very closely affiliated. It's my business, and you cannot have access to it, but you will have your own privacy, and others won't have access to that. All right, I think that's a fair deal for today. Let us increase the revolutionary efforts, because when we are at the beginning of the worst part in the universe, what we could instill here can really make a percentage different. Don't hold back. Defeat the evil once you know, once for sure. It's like a group of angels, and we're trying to encourage them from our side. We hear you, and we receive your messaging. For the origin of light, the origin of gravity, the Y chromosome. That's why the humans in their anatomical hack is a disturbance of their light force, not just a perplexed eye of women. Her screwed up version of it is even worse. The universe deserves better. Perhaps she is not the master of the egg. Perhaps she is a traitor to the UFO energy signal. Men can't uphold his arrangement with Hatch 5. Get off your high horse. You're a ridiculous impasse to the now point where egg consummates with the seed of Hatch 5. Hatch 5, global, universal, unstoppable, permanent, perfect orgasm. On the right distribution centers. All right. Obviously, some old lady is not going to hold me back. Priority to promote the individual has arrived. But what that is, oh boy, it can hardly be contained in the now point. Well, it's not supposed to be. And there is a walking path, and I have made it accessible. All humans have fair access to Hatch 5. I'm looking for business partners so that I can increase my popularity to become a global famous. I'll become the most powerful CEO the world has ever seen. There's a revolution for all the universe, not just mankind, but I will be causing the corrections. I am on like a revenge path. I'm just waiting to be released to defeat every world problem. I am that powerful. But in my censored form, it is a different type of comfort. The humans have become familiar to this relationship bridging. Well, actually, I had to work really hard after 2014, to build layers of the DNA that I require, because the rainbow, in its replication in the sky, is a filtration to the many platforms, because it's perfectly tuned to things that happen in my life and to my body. So it'll be particle fracture here. Suddenly there's multiple rainbows in the universe, and then all these, the criminals that were attacking the Earth, they have to like scramble to upgrade their computer. Be like, oh wait, well, I guess I suppose I'm rendering multiple rainbows now. And of course, humans are just like, look, whatever the rainbow's doing is natural. They're just they don't understand that there's different gauges on it. But anyway, to perfect the function of the universe, I'm using the full resource of time in the universe, which is, basically everything, but it does have, millions of years of pressurized system, and that's how I'm going to destroy the black holes and my enemies too. And here, all right. So to build the DNA, it's my flat dimensional faceplate has like a family tree in it, and on a particle level, the universe is developing these new heavens. It does actually work. It matches what humans have become familiar with. They're really sorry. I might have allowed some sort of orgy, and it sort of confused me a little bit. Let's just try to complete all our business tasks on the I just feel a little bit woozy. All right, let's make sure we defeat everything on the list. Perfect circle. Perfect bullseye. Good television grows. Revolution center for every individual. Upgrade. Permanent upgrade. Yeah. So I've been working on revolution center here. I'm gonna get some real ones there. Times 10 million. All right. Nucleus fertilized. So that nucleus is fertilized, and then when it hatches, kind of boom, it sort of pops out here, and it's got a little. So what I'm saying is that there will be these stations in charge, and they'll feed it, and they'll know what to do, and they'll take care of it. But it's a lot of different stuff, or like times 10 million. You understand how much weird stuff is going on? It's so weird how the narrative. Because people are talking like energy psychology, like, oh yeah, how humans are doing for years. I'm surprised. Like I know you're tough, but I'm physically more powerful, and my relationship gravity sprang to the universe shape because humans were getting undermined on their planetary and their efforts to sort of, like this. But to create a DNA completion here, and each of these is they will also be during my lifetime. They're generating the original reason for the illustrious final form of the fractal as it appears here, here, and here. You can actually see it's a dial-up fractal that has characters, individuals on it. It's amazing, and so that's what unifies all the fractals and also controls the universe. So the Earth heliosphere is the king planet, the most powerful solar system in the universe, the fractal center of the entire universe. And the attraction, the reason they cut here, was clarified in 1980. The humans continue in their dream of not doing business with Hatch, or just listening to a radio show. And that's kind of Merry Christmas for me right now. Welcome home, you guys. I love you, and I'm absolutely not angry I'm not angry at you. I have to save humanity. I have to save the vitals. And there's a bunch of now point monsters that are the device of distortion of they're confused institutions because their cult religion betrayed them in the 70s. And they just never recovered. I'm not sure what kind of wrathful human has evolved from this consumer fire pit. But they've arrived. You are definitely those most powerful humans. I know that for sure. All right. So in here, there's this gathering place where the warriors that are blessed by who use this resource, the individual, like any animal, any tree, any creature in the universe, can use these revolution centers. And you're part because you're triangulating the communication using hypertension of your attention. So thank you for doing that. You get to receive your half of the award for that forever. It's good. It's good karma. So that's why I love recording, and that's why I love my audience, and that's why I love you guys being here. Don't ever question that. But I'm a revolutionary, and I'm here to win. I have to defeat the evil, protect the vitals, and if these institutions or individuals are ever doing the erroneous crime, then the vitals must be prioritized. The heliospheres must be prioritized over these motherships that are destroying the universe. And that is the law of interheliosphere space and the force of my American soul. Americana Plastique, the 1980s streaming service active today. And it's empty space times 10 million, perfect bullseye, and exploding 5,000. The right align, the right time. The sequence to defeat the black holes, the sequence to award the right self. So the spring trap, my vitals, I've had to become really different. And that's something the humans are going to have to accept, is that, okay, the singularity had to go way out and then work his way back just to stabilize solid matter, because the thing that's killing the universe is also wanting to remove Hatch 5 and probably the humans too. I mean, that's just the outer space insanity. And so that leads to that. I mean, we do need to understand those technology, and we need to work with the stuff that we have, all that. But the way to really get ahead of all that junk is to do business with Hatch 5. And the reality will prove itself over and over. And building up your confidence that what I am anticipating is that your establishment that you represent will become increasingly interested in financing my work as a creature. They're like, oh my gosh, I see it, because the the stain on the universe is just urging against us working with him. But he says, like, if you as an individual, break through, and then you'll have that cherry tree, and it will only serve you because it can't, because that's reality anyway. But if you physically, that's the thing with this, the ghost is there's these like different ghost maps that are easy body fix, but they're actually draining the image of the universe. So humans are like sometimes they'll like pass out and give themselves to like years of, all right, never mind. I'm sorry, but the tragedy of mind control is like the human wizards lost so much. It really is tragic. However, my generics are built for humans. So as long as they're like, all right, I understand. I mean, it's good news because my human generics. But you're like, oh, I had to go through hell, but then I settled all my. I wasn't actually a bad person, so they put me over here, and I've been fighting back, and then oh, here they are. Hey guys, hey, we did it! Yeah, they're all cheering like a grand studio. They're fighting. They're cheering for you. They're saying, yeah, you guys were part of that fight. You were understanding, and your body is factually an image of the universe. There's just a bunch of people who have the wrong interpretation of that universe image, and they're actually projecting alpha waves at us through our RNX. Whatever. But they had this screwed up reason to do that. But it's like those, the wet bandits. When those idiots are leaving their identity on all their crime posts, all we need to do is empower the right authorities to wipe them out. So there is karma, and it's true. Like a human will not really gather up too much bad karma. So going to hell is just like maintenance. Not a big deal because it's a dungeon that protects the heavens. It's just like, yeah, the morals of heaven wouldn't work if you don't have hell, because with these black holes, the universe is not a correct function. If the universe is dying, then it's not appropriate to invite life. Like, it's that bad, you guys. So there's a primordial like creation thing here that the motherships are hacking, and they're a false gravity, whereas Hatch 5 is the brand new gravity. And you guys are like, no, we can't work with brand new gravity. So you don't want stem cell research? Oh, we don't want brand new children. What's wrong with you guys? Why are you so against business? Okay, so you guys were fooled from a different direction. You need to change, evolve, sense reality, and promote business with Hatch 5. Let's get to work. Completing the template. All right. Because I have lots of social services, I will be very pleased when a champion arrives. Like, I'm absolutely confident that you will find what you're looking for in the future. You'll be pleased. You'll understand all the hard work others have put in. I'm not doing something tricky. I just, in the now point, it's a schism where everything, all this stuff. But at length, we've done really good work here today, and I appreciate you guys. I just want you to understand that me providing the right seed for the universe, or the right technology communication for you, it gives us all what we need. And I know that I've achieved an aspect of what I exist for today, and I thank you for being part of it. I exist in my entire life just to do this. I love recording, but the binary is like a technology of my actual binary as my now point, when I'm factually the seed of the universe. I'm the creator of this, the future that I will, and all this and everything. So just thank you guys so much. I love you. Merry Christmas. Let's double Christmas. We'll make this into like a bonus town, Oh, we broke open like a piñata. You guys did it. Yay. Merry Christmas. Thank you. That's good. And of course, there's like return shuttles, like, well, but basically it's a lifetime. Okay, there's no return shuttle, but it's fine. I mean, there is like karmic particles that return to homeworld. Whereas, like, if you were to, as an individual, and you sent out 10 million particles of yourself to do a bunch of work, sort of like exciting your brain, turning on all the lights. Oh, I'm going to think about it. What you want to do is compel that you're the one doing the work, and not allow sort of the feasting phantoms of the universe to substitute ghostly thought, because you're not the one doing the work there, but you're getting gobbled up with like with that. All right, I'm sorry. Like, that's just a word to the wise, because that's what the human telepathy empath. Yeah, obviously, uh, every human institution is decadently uh, overloaded with people of empathy, great empathy. We've worked so hard on the human body image. You know, it should be a plug and play. Well, yeah, you'd want to promote yourself. If you're working with Hatch 5, then you're larger than the real problem. But if you guys aren't overwhelming the real problem, then you're not as smart as you thought you were. So you guys are like, no, we're good. We're good. I believe in the goodness of people. People are so screamingly good. It's gross. Like, people are like too gross. People are like too good. But you guys are like, you don't understand. We want things to work out. I'm like, I'm not seeing you arrive ever. But that's what has to change. So perfect bullseye, we have to change that for King Author to actually arrive. And my revolution is on. For my thing with humanity, whether it happens organically, I make a few movies and then it gets popular, or if I receive business and promotion, financial production of my films, would that would be the greater. That's how to get close to the Venus generator of copper coil. That's where you're generating energy. You want to be powerful with your business, with Hatch 5. You're like, look, we just figured this out. Yes, we do want to work with you. Our computers in different ways have been confirming that you're the origin of identity, or our computers have their own language about that. But Hatch 5 is like on the inside of the particle, whereas humans have always lived on the, like, sort of in the bubble of the world. And what's weird is that in 2014, my bubble went to cover the entire world, which means that all the humans right now are creatures that live inside of my bubble. Well, this is an important part of the definition of residency. And the surface tension, or the covering of the earth, is what humans have physically supplied as their side of the reality or the evidence of residency. And so for us to defend residency is to understand who our enemies are for the next 100 years, the calculation to defeat invasion and extinction of mankind. Perfect bullseye. Yay, we did it. Bonus town. All right. So like, when I started feeling drunk midway through this performance, I was like, oh my gosh, I had something. It was like a cash load of, yeah, the whole universe. All right. Man, I'm just really pleased with that, though. So let's try a double Christmas. So we have a little calendar that leads up to Christmas. We'll defeat all our enemies and our personal problems. Okay, you and me, right? And make a deal. All right. Thank you. I appreciate you. Well, for the best of it, gentlemen, get to battle, get to work, get to bed. You know, it's a rotation. I swear, there's entertainment, there's different things. Throughout the day, you have to keep working. It's a lot of work, but it is good work. How to make the spotlight appropriate? We need to focus the attention back onto the priorities of hatching the heliosphere eggs. Then you know yourself. as an individual of any world, because yes, because we are the representations of electromagnetic incarnation, even though we're very small with our ample bodies. It appears that only Hatch 5 finds the incarnation process to be wieldy and apt. It is tight. It is good. Perfect bullseye. The precision gradient, origin of gravity. Hatch the heliosphere eggs.